out somewhere else. And if you really have to touch the door, then man, you're fucked, and you still gotta find a sink and wash your hands with something, unless you bring some Germ-X, and then make sure you don't like cross-contaminate with that either, okay? Like if you're touching the bottle and you're opening it and then you put it on your hands, you still have to clean like whatever you're touching, you know what I mean? Like you have to sanitize what you're doing, and I'm trying to tell you all this to prevent you all from like getting like diseases and crap, okay? So but keep in mind, like, you know, even if you don't have sex, like you still got to do all this stuff. You've got to like wash your hands with soap and water and be clean, people. Don't be fucking dirty, okay? And also another thing, stop expecting women to go on birth control. What is this? What is this, an all man's world? No, there's women here too. We have our health to look out for as well. It's not your health only, okay? So when we take birth control, you can cause us to get blood clots. And then you guys are like, oh yeah, like that's like a 1 in a million chance. Really? Guess what? Guess who took birth control, and guess who almost died? I did, okay? I had to take birth control because my doctor was like, oh, if you go on birth control, like it'll shrink the cysts that are on your ovaries. So it's like, okay, and I took some birth control. It was called Triseptic. That was the brand name of it. I took it, and for about 6 months, and then guess what happened? I got 3 blood clots. 2 in my right lung, 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom, and then 1 in my right leg. And the first time I went to the hospital, I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, I'm in a lot of pain. I was having pain in like my upper shoulder area, because your lung goes kind of like towards your shoulder. And then like sometimes if you have clots, the pain will transfer to like, it'll just fan out. Because it's so lovely to have clots. It's so lovely because it's just so great to like feel like you're getting like punched with brass knuckles, right? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like you got like hit with like some brass knuckles, or like you got shot, okay? Because it hurts. It really hurts. So I went and I had to go to the hospital, and they were like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you, you're young. And they didn't scan me, they didn't test me, they did nothing. They're like, just take some like, I think it was like, I don't even remember. I think it was something like when your muscles get locked up. They had me take something for that. Anyway, so I took that, and it did nothing. I had to come back a week later, and I was screaming in pain. And they were like, what's the matter? And I was in so much pain that my roommate gave me muscle relaxers, and he gave me this anti-anxiety medicine that's for people with insomnia. It's like called trazodone. He gave me like a double dose of trazodone, and he gave me like these they're called not anti-inflammatories, they're like these muscle relaxer things. And I took them together, and I passed out right in the hospital. I was in so much pain that with the mixture of the pain and all that bullshit, I passed out. And so they couldn't get me to come to. They tried salts. I was out. So they tried to get me like to where I was stable, and then they like put me in the they gave me an x-ray and MRI, and they found the clots in my lung, and the doctor was like, oh my gosh, if you waited any bit longer, that would have gone to your heart and you would have died. Because it was close enough to my heart that I almost died. And that was from birth control, because we looked at every other option to see what caused clots, and the only thing that could have caused it was the birth control. So guess what? I don't take it anymore, and I don't think any of you girls should either. Okay, I think you know, if you really need to have sex out of wedlock, use a condom, or just do it like do the family planning thing. Okay, but don't have an abortion. That's bad for your health. Don't go and do birth control. You know, the best way is just not have sex. And then guys will be like, okay, if we don't have sex, we can just do oral, okay? No, I do not want to swallow your load, okay? Go bang a pillow or something. Like, don't use me as your pillow. Okay, that's nasty. You don't want that crap in your mouth. You don't know where their thing has been. For all you know, he could have genital herpes, and it may not be displaying, because with herpes, they don't have to display for you to get it. Okay, that I also know because my mother taught me about that, and there was health class. She wanted to protect me because when I was younger, I had like every guy under the sun wanting to take my virginity, and my mother was like, you gotta be careful, and you know, there was a ton of guys that wanted to date me, and she just wanted to look out for me. So, and I did some research on this stuff myself to check and see if she was right, because I wanted to know. So, and these guys, like, you know, or girls, if they have herpes, it doesn't always show, but it lives in like your nervous system, and so like it sheds out little microscopic follicles that when you go and you get close enough to someone or you kiss them or whatever, you could still pass it because the disease is shedding. And the best way if you can know if you're carrying it and it's not displaying is if you go to the hospital and you get a blood test. You can get tested for it. They do like, I think it's like 5 different vials, if I remember correctly. I always like, you know, I love like all this medical stuff. Like if I could have in a second life, I would have been a doctor because I just love it. Like I just love reading this stuff. I'll read at WebMD on a regular basis just to be, you know, more knowledgeable about my body and my health and others, so that way that can help me. But these are the things I found out. And but yeah, like you could pass herpes even if you are not showing it. You may have never showed it, and people are like, well, I don't have herpes. Well, let me tell you, there's 3 different types of oral herpes. There's canker sores, cold sores, and fever blisters. Fever blisters are the smallest ones. The biggest ones are canker sores. So the middle one is cold sores. And now some people are like, oh, it's like that's like a little pimple. No, pimples are not blossoming like a flower. They're not red and inflamed and having this white, weird looking, crusty, pussy kind of weird thing going on. If it looks weird, run, okay? What you should do is if you see somebody with it and they're trying to date you, say, halt, don't kiss me, go and get it tested, because then you're gonna get it. If he has it, you're gonna get it, and then you're gonna pass it to somebody else and they could sue you for it. Frank Sinatra got sued, I believe it was $1 million, because he kissed some girl and gave her herpes. So yeah, like you gotta like be careful. And you guys that are like, well, I'll hide it and she'll never know. Oh, and then I'll say she got it from someone else. No, you cannot say that, because she can go and take you to court and sue you, because it's your legal obligation to tell her that you have it. Now, the best way you could avoid getting sued is if you make a legal contract that says, or just a paper that says, I so-and-so have this, and do you acknowledge that I have this and are okay with this? And then she has to sign yes or no, and she puts her full signature, and you make sure she does it, or he does it, or whoever, because then if they try to sue you, you'd be like, I have this document here, and that's how you protect yourself. Now, I don't have herpes. I've never had herpes, and I don't plan on getting it, but I'm just telling you what you can do to protect yourself, and I'm trying to look out for people here. Bottom line is, if you want to have a happy life, do it with someone that you love. Don't go and sit there and be like, well, I've known them for 1 week or 1 month and I love them. No, you don't, okay? You don't know if you love them. I mean, you are infatuated, but I mean, there's a chance that you could be in love. No doubt, okay? But you should really save sex for marriage, because then, at least if something happens, you have a baby or whatever, you have a backup plan, and that kid does not have to grow up with parents apart. And of course people get divorced, but people are less likely to try to do that if they have a kid involved, okay? So now I hope that with this said, that you guys can learn to respect life more and respect each other, and I hope that you respect me as well, because I do not want to feel burdened into doing things, and I'm not going to feel burdened anyway, because the second that you try is the second that I'm gonna get rid of you. So please, please, please respect my decisions and respect each other, because it's a beautiful world out, guys. Why make it crappy by not respecting each other, right? Okay, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have anything you want me to discuss, oh my gosh, there's a horsefly. If there's anything you want me to discuss with you, feel free to leave any positive feedback in the comments below. and feel free to like and subscribe. And I make videos just about every day and every week, so I hope to see you again. Bye.